Your Amazon store is not a brand. Your Shopify revenue is not a brand. Your 5-star reviews is not a brand. After 10 years of watching Chinese sellers confuse a sales channel for a brand, I want to tell you the difference and why it's going to matter more than ever in the next coming 5 to 10 years. And actually, this video is for a specific group of people, Chinese sellers on Amazon, Shopify, other e-commerce platforms that are already doing quite well. A good product, good reviews, good revenue, but there's a feeling that something is not quite right. You've built a very successful rented business, and the platform is your landlord. A landlord that can kick you out at any time. A landlord whose platform rules you do not control. And maybe this sounds similar to something you've seen happen, because I've seen this happen time and time again. A Chinese seller spend time finding a winning product, getting it to the top of the category on Amazon. They optimize the listing, they get reviews, they hack the algorithm. Revenue grows, everything looks great, and then one of 3 things happen. Either a wave of competitors enter that space with almost the same product, or they just race to the bottom on price. Or the platform, let's say Amazon, changes its fees and its structures or its algorithm, so suddenly your margins are different. And not only margins, you can get affected with visibility, and even if Amazon decide that they are going to put out their Amazon's Choice, which is exactly your product, then a lot of your market share is going to be eaten up by Amazon's own white label products. And that's when sellers realize that everything they've built, the reviews, the listings, the product themselves, the revenue, it all sits on an infrastructure that you do not own. And in front of customers that do not know your brand's name, that are not loyal enough to follow you to a different channel. And this, I've seen, is the moment where most sellers start to really consider building a brand. Not because building a brand sounds interesting, but because they start to realize the value of having your own brand at this moment. And this is where we get into the fun parts of building a brand. This is how we start thinking about your target audience, your positioning in that audience, who you're going to be trying to target, how you're going to be trying to target them so that they can find you organically as well as through paid means, but you're not just up to the whim of the algorithm and ads that you spend on that platform. All of the traffic that you were previously sending to your Amazon page, that is going to be your owned traffic. You're going to be sending it to your website, to your own brand, so that you can try and capture more loyal customers rather than ones that were just searching for a product through Amazon. It means building a direct relationship with the customer so that if you do move channels in the future, they're much more likely to follow you. Email lists, signups, social media, they're going to know your whereabouts, where you are changing, where you're positioning, where you are switching, and they're much more likely to follow you than your previous Amazon customers. Now, you're probably wondering, as a Chinese seller or a person selling online, so what does it mean to start the brand? And you probably have a vague idea of this anyway. But if I had to summarize it, it means having a name, having a story, having a visual identity, so that even in the future, if there are competitors that try and copy your product, you're still distinctive enough so that your customers know which one is your brand. The Chinese sellers I've seen transition to a brand the most successfully are not the ones that waited until it was needed to become a brand when there's a flood of competitors or any other reason algorithm changes. These are the ones that got a market share on Amazon, built a really successful product, and then asked themselves, how do I own this segment rather than just rent it from Amazon? If you're a cross-border seller with strong revenue and you're starting to get that same feeling, either send me a DM or write a comment down below.